Story. My new coworkers hate me. I'm a doctor. Sam Keller, fresh out of residency, still figuring out the ropes. Landed my first job at St. Augustine's, a psychiatric hospital on the edge of Cleveland, Ohio. Old dump, all brick and rust, built back when they thought locking people up fixed their heads. Started last week, and I'll be honest, it's been a mess. My coworkers hate me. Not just new guy ribbing either. It's colder, sharper, like I'm a pest they want squashed. Thought I was imagining it at first. Nerves, you know. But after today, I'm not so sure. First shift was a night gig, 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. Rolled into the lot, tires crunching gravel, the building hulking under a cloudy sky. Windows gaped like dead eyes, some cracked, some boarded up. Air smelled like wet metal and decay. Cleveland in late fall. Clocked in at the desk, got my badge from a nurse who didn't even glance up. Carol, her tag read. Thin, gray, eyes hollowed out like she'd seen too much. Shoved a clipboard at me, muttered, "Ward C. Don't mess up." No hello, no smile. Warm welcome, right? Ward C's on the third floor. Locked unit. Heavy cases. Schizophrenia. Violent breaks. The ones who'd snap your neck and not blink. Took the elevator. A clanking relic that groaned like it was pissed to move. Stepped into the hall. Dim, buzzing lights. Paint peeling in strips. A hum you felt in your teeth. Met the crew there. Dr. Ellis, the attending, wiry, sour-faced, and two orderlies, Mike and Tara. Big, stone-silent, staring like I'd spit in their coffee. "You're late," Ellis barked, though I was early. Shrugged it off, tried a grin. "Traffic. Won't happen again." No one cracked a smile. Great start. Rounds kicked off at 8 p.m. Clipboard listed 10 patients. Paranoid delusions, dissociative fits, psychopathy. Normal enough, I figured. Started with room 301. Henry, 50. Chronic hallucinations, nonviolent. Unlocked the door, thick steel, food slot, and stepped in. Bare room, cot, sink, barred window. Henry sat on the floor, back to me, rocking slow. "Hey, Henry, I'm Dr. Keller," I said, keeping it easy. "How's your night?" He didn't turn, just muttered, fast, quiet, like a chant. Leaned in, caught it. "They're not who they say." Frowned, checked the chart. No note of that. "Who's not, Henry?" No reply, just more rocking. Next up, room 302. Clara, 30, bipolar, aggressive past. She was pacing, eyes flicking when I walked in. "You're new," she hissed like it was a curse. Nodded, stayed calm. "Yeah, just started. How you holding up?" She stopped, stared. Too long. "They don't like you. They'll get rid of you." Chills ran up my spine, but I brushed it off. Patients talk weird, part of the gig. Rest of the rounds were the same. Everyone twitchy, dropping lines like, "They're watching," or "You don't belong." By the 10th room, my hands were sweaty, clipboard trembling. Back in the break room, I tried the team. "Tough crowd tonight, huh?" Mike grunted, eyes on his coffee. Tara smirked, icy. Ellis ignored me, flipping a file. Air felt thick, like they wanted me gone. Midnight rolled in, and the power flickered. Lights buzzed, dimmed, steadied. "Happens a lot," Tara said, first thing she'd said to me. Didn't help. Took a walk down the hall to clear my head. Then I saw it. Room 315, end of the ward, door cracked open. Chart stopped at 310, no 315 listed. Frowned, edged closer. Lock hung loose, busted. Pushed the door, dark inside, no cot, just a chair in the center. Empty, but the air felt off, heavy. Heard a scrape, soft, from the corner. "Hello?" Called it low, pen light out. No answer. Clicked it on, swept the beam. Something darted. Quick, low, gone before I could pin it. Heart jumped, but I held steady. Who's there? Silence. Stepped in, light jittery, and saw scratches, deep, wild, gouged into the walls. Then a laugh, high, sharp, echoed from the hall. Spun, door still open, but the ward was dead. Lights flickered again, longer, and when they came back, 315's door was shut. Locked. From outside, backed off, pulse racing, and ran to the break room. Team sat there, same spots like nothing happened. Patience loose, I said, voice tight. Room 315. Ellis looked up, slow, eyes narrow. No 315 here. Mike snorted. Tara's smirk widened. Check your list, rookie, she said. Flipped it. 310, last one, like always. I saw it. I pushed. Door open, something inside. Ellis stood, got close. Too close. You're tired, Keller. Seeing things. Let it go. Couldn't let it go. That laugh stuck, alive in my head. Rest of the shift I kept quiet. But I felt them, Ellis, Mike, Tara, watching. Not just annoyed. Hungry. Clock hit 7 a.m., sun creeping over Cleveland's skyline, and I clocked out fast. Carol didn't look up when I tossed my badge. Drove home, hands locked on the wheel, that laugh looping. Something was wrong at St. Augustine's. Real wrong. I got home that morning, hands still shaky on the wheel, the echo of that laugh rattling around in my skull. Apartments nothing fancy. Cramped walk-up off Euclid Avenue, Cleveland's gray sprawl pressing in through the windows. Dropped my keys, sank onto the couch, and just sat there, staring at the wall. Couldn't shake it. Room 315, that busted lock, those scratches. The way Ellis glared, Mike grunted, Tara smirked like they knew something I didn't. Checked my phone, 7:30 a.m. Next shift was in 12 hours. No way I was sleeping, not with that laugh clawing at me. Pulled out my laptop, started digging. St. Augustine's had a rep. Old articles about budget cuts, patient deaths, staff scandals. Nothing concrete, just whispers. Lawsuits settled quiet. A fire in the 80s that killed a dozen. Found a forum post, some ex-orderly claiming the place was cursed, said the third floor, Ward C, was the worst. They're not all patients up there, he wrote. Some run the show. Sounded nuts, but it stuck. Henry's mutter, Clara's warning, that empty room. Closed the laptop, rubbed my eyes. Maybe I was just tired, jumping at shadows. Showered, tried to eat. Cereal went soggy while I zoned out. Kept seeing those scratches, deep, desperate, like someone had clawed their way out. Or in. Phone buzzed, text from Ellis. Be on time tonight. No excuses. Short, cold, like always. Tossed it aside, paced the room. Couldn't call off. First week, they'd fire me fast. Had to go back, figure this out. Grabbed a notebook, jotted what I remembered. Patient names, that laugh. Room 315. Felt like a detective, not a doctor, but it kept me sane. Hit the hospital at 6:45 p.m. Sky already dark. Cleveland's wind biting through my coat. Clocked in. Carol again, same dead stare. Handed me the clipboard. Ward C, she muttered. No surprise there. Elevator rattled up, same groan, and I stepped into the hall. Lights dimmer tonight, hum louder, like the place was alive. Ellis was waiting, arms crossed, Mike and Tara looming behind. You're cutting it close, he snapped. Checked my watch, 6:58. I'm here, I said, flat. Tara smirked. Mike just stared. Same vibe, hostile, heavy, wrong. Round started normal. Henry rocking, muttering. They know you're asking. Clara pacing, hissing. You're dead meat. Each patient edgier, eyes darting like they were waiting for something. Got to room 310. Last one, chart said delusional, nonverbal. Guy named Paul, 40, sat still staring at the wall. "Hey, Paul," I said, routine now. He turned, slow, eyes wide, bloodshot, and whispered, "151's awake." Froze. No 151 on the list, no number past 310. "Who's 151? I asked, pen hovering. He grinned, teeth yellow, sharp, and laughed, that same high, jagged sound from last night. Dropped the clipboard, stumbled back, door slamming shut behind me. Break room next. Team sat there, same spots like statues. Paul laughed, I said, voice tight. Same laugh I heard from 315. Ellis didn't look up, just flipped a page. "Patience, laugh, Keller. You're jumpy." Mike snorted. Tara's smirk grew. "He said 151's awake," I pushed. "Who's 151? Ellis stood, slow, got in my face, breath sour, eyes hard. "No 151. You're hearing things. Focus." Backed off, but my gut screamed he was lying. That laugh, it was real, tied to 315, and they knew it. Shift dragged. Lights flickered more. Hum turned to a buzz that drilled my skull. Around 2 a.m., I walked the hall again. Couldn't sit with them, their stares burning holes. Past 315, door shut, lock fixed, like it had never happened. Kept going, but the air shifted, colder, thicker, like stepping into a freezer. Heard it then, a shuffle, soft, behind me. Spun, pen light out, nothing, just shadows stretching too long. "Hello?" Called it low, stupid, but my nerves were shot. Shuffle again, closer. Light caught something, feet bare, pale, vanishing around the corner. Followed fast, couldn't stop myself. Corner led to a dead end, storage closet, door cracked. Pushed it open, dark, dusty, shelves of old files. No one there, but the shuffle came again, behind the shelves. "Who's there?" Voice shook, light jittery. Saw it then, a figure hunched, slipping through a gap in the wall. Chased it. Crazy, I know, squeezed through into a narrow passage. Brick walls, damp, tight, smelled like mold and something sharper, metallic. Passage twisted, dropped, opened to a room, low ceiling, concrete floor, lit by a single bulb swinging slow. Center of the room, a man strapped to a chair, restraints biting his wrists. Thin, pale, hair wild, eyes locked on me, bright, too bright. 151, he rasped, voice rough, like he hadn't used it in years. Heart stopped, literally felt it skip. "Who are you?" I stammered, stepping closer. He grinned, teeth filed, jagged, and laughed that laugh, cutting through me. "They don't want you here," he said. "They'll kill you first." Froze, light shaking, heard footsteps, heavy, behind me. Turned, Mike and Tara blocking the passage, faces blank but eyes alive, hungry. "Ellis wants you," Mike grunted, stepping in. Tara smirked, cracking her knuckles. 151 laughed harder, wild, unhinged. "Told you," he sang, rocking in the chair. Backed up, nowhere to go. Walls closed in, air thick with that metallic stink. Blood, I realized. Floor was stained, dark and old. Mike lunged, big hands grabbing my coat. I swung, fist connecting with his jaw, but he didn't flinch. Tara grabbed my arm, twisted. Pain shot up, penlight clattering. 151's laugh filled the room, a soundtrack to the mess, as they dragged me back through the passage, kicking, cursing, helpless. Mike's grip was iron, dragging me back through that damp passage, my boots scraping the concrete. Tara kept pace, her smirk gone, replaced by a blank stare that chilled me worse. 151's laugh echoed behind us, high and sharp, fading as the walls closed in. Kicked hard, twisted, nothing worked. Mike's hands clamped tighter, bruising my arms, and Tara shoved me forward when I stumbled. passage spit us back into the storage closet. Shelves loomed, files yellowed and dusty, air thick with mold. They didn't stop, hauled me straight to the hall, Ward C's buzzing lights flickering overhead. "Ellis!" Mike barked, voice flat but loud. Doors lined the hall, 301 to 310, all shut, patients silent behind them. Felt their eyes, though, watching through the slots. Ellis stepped out of the break room, slow, hands in his pockets like this was routine. Face was stone, but his eyes, dark, glinting, locked on me. "Found him snooping," Tara said, shoving me again. I hit the wall, shoulder jarring, and spun to face them. "What the hell's 151? I yelled, voice cracking. "Who's down there?" Ellis didn't blink, just stepped closer, too close, breath sour in my face. "You don't listen, Keller," he said, low, calm. "Told you to drop it." Mike cracked his knuckles. Tara crossed her arms, wall of muscle behind him. "I saw him," I shot back, heart pounding. "Strapped up, laughing, same laugh from 315. You're hiding something." Ellis tilted his head like I was a bug he'd squash later. "You're tired," he said, same line as before, but colder. "Seeing things. Go home." Laughed, short, bitter. "Home? After that? Tell me what's going on." He nodded, barely a twitch, and Mike grabbed me again, pinning my arms. Struggled, but it was useless. Guy was a tank. Tara opened a door, not a patient room, a stairwell, dark and narrow. "Wait," I started, but Mike shoved me in, hard, stumbled, caught the railing, and heard the door slam behind. Footsteps followed, slow, deliberate. Turned. Ellis at the top, silhouetted, Mike and Tara flanking him. "You're a problem, Keller," Ellis said, voice echoing down. "We don't like problems." Took a step back, stairs creaked, air cold and stale. "What's that mean?" I asked, stalling, hand fumbling for anything, nothing but my keys in my pocket. "Means you're done," Tara said, first time she sounded alive, sharp, eager. Mike cracked a grin, first I'd seen, and it wasn't friendly. Ellis started down, slow, like he had all night. Ran, only choice. Feet pounding, stairs twisting deeper than they should have. Hit the bottom, metal door, locked, no handle. Spun, Ellis halfway down, Mike and Tara right behind. "You don't get it," Ellis said, almost sad. "Ward C's ours, always has been." Keys shook in my hand, useless here. Banged the door, yelled, nothing but echoes. Mike lunged, fast for his size, grabbed my coat, slammed me against the door. Head cracked metal, vision swimming. Tara kicked my legs out, hit the floor hard, tasting blood. 151 warned you," she said, crouching close, breath hot. "Should have listened." Ellis loomed over, pulling something from his pocket, syringe, needle glinting. "No," I thrashed, got a foot free, kicked Mike's shin. He grunted, grip slipping. Rolled, scrambled up. Door was solid, but a vent, low, rusted, caught my eye. Dove for it, pried the grate, loose, thank God, and squeezed in, elbows scraping. Heard Ellis curse, Mike roar. Grate clanged as they yanked it free, but I was through, crawling fast. Vent was tight, dark, stinking of rust and rot. Kept going, lungs burning. Voices faded. "Get him." Then silence, just my gasps. Passage bent, dropped, slid out, landed hard in a basement, concrete cold under me. Dim light swung overhead, boiler room, pipes hissing, shadows stretching. Stood, shaky, blood on my lip, arm throbbing. No way back up, stairs were theirs. Had to find another out. Heard it then. Footsteps, soft, uneven, behind the pipes. Froze. "Who's there?" Whispered it, voice shot. Shuffle again, closer. Stepped forward, saw him. 151, free, straps gone, wrists raw where they'd been. Grinned, teeth sharp, eyes wild, laughing that laugh, cutting through the hum. "Told you," he rasped, stepping into the light. Tall, gaunt, clothes torn like he'd clawed his way out. "They'll kill you now." Backed up, hit a pipe, hot, burned my hand. "Who are you?" I stammered. "What are they?" He laughed again, louder, unhinged. "They're us," he said, tapping his chest. "Patients. Took over years ago. Ellis, Mike, Tara, Ward C's theirs. Staff's long gone." Brain reeled. Impossible, but it fit. Their hate, the patient's warnings, 315 scratches. Insane, but real. "And you?" I asked, voice shaking. "151's me," he said, grin splitting wider. "First one to fight back. They locked me up, kept me for fun." He stepped closer, smelled like blood, sweat, madness. "You're next." Footsteps above, heavy, fast. Ellis and the crew coming down. 151's eyes flicked up, then back to me. "Run," he hissed, pointing. A door, rusted, half hidden by pipes. Bolted for it, yanked it open, hinges screaming. Dark hall beyond, dripping wet, smelling of earth. 151 didn't follow, just laughed, louder, as I ran. Hall twisted, narrowed, heard shouts behind. "He's here!" Kept going, legs burning. Hit a ladder, old, rickety, climbed fast, hands slipping on slime, pushed a grate up, night air hit, cold, Cleveland skyline faint under clouds. Crawled out, alley behind the hospital, trash bags and broken glass. Stood, panting, heard them below, climbing, cursing. Ran, didn't look back, feet pounding pavement, blood dripping from my lip. Made it to my car, keys shaking, started it, peeled out, tires screeching. Drove blind, streets blurred, heart hammering, till I hit my block. Parked, stumbled inside, locked the door, sank to the floor. Clock said 4 a.m. Shift wasn't even over, but I was done. They'd come for me. I knew it. 151's laugh still rang, a promise they wouldn't stop. I sat there, back against the door, breath ragged, blood drying on my lip. Apartment was dark, Cleveland's gray dawn barely creeping through the blinds. 151's laugh looped in my head, his words heavier. "They're us. Patience. Took over. Ellis, Mike, Tara. Not staff, not sane, just inmates running the asylum." My arm throbbed where Tara twisted it, head pounded from Mike's slam. Keys still clutched in my hand, car idling outside. Couldn't stay here. They'd find me, finish what they started. Had to move. Stood, shaky, grabbed my phone, wallet, a kitchen knife. Pathetic, but better than nothing. Checked the hall, empty, quiet. Bolted to the car, locked it fast. Drove, didn't know where. Just away, streets blurring, Cleveland's rust and decay swallowing me. Kept seeing 151, gaunt, grinning, free in that basement. "You're next," he'd said. Meant it. Radio crackled, tuned it off, couldn't handle noise. Clock hit 5 a.m. Shift should have ended at 7, but I wasn't going back. Ever. Pulled into a gas station off I-90, lot empty, fluorescent lights buzzing. Filled the tank, hands trembling, eyes darting, half expecting Mike's bulk to loom up behind me. Phone buzzed, unknown number. Ignored it, but it buzzed again. Voicemail this time. Played it, low, speaker to my ear. Ellis's voice, calm, cold. "You can't run, Keller. Ward C's ours. You're part of it now." Click. Heart stopped. How'd they get my number? Hospital records, had to be. Knife felt useless in my pocket. Against them it was a toy. Drove again. East, toward the lake. No plan. Just distance. Mind raced. Patients taking over years ago. Staff gone. Replaced. Made sense. Sick sense. Henry's mutters, Clara's warnings, 151's cage. St. Augustine's wasn't a hospital, it was their kingdom. and I'd walked in blind. Phone buzzed again. Text, same number. We see you. Looked up, rear view empty, road dead. Paranoia or real? Didn't matter. Felt them, their eyes, their hunger. Turned off the phone, tossed it out the window. Glass clinked on asphalt. Gone. Sun rose, weak and pale. Lake Erie glinting ahead. Pulled into a diner lot. Truck stop, half dead. Neon sign flickering. Went in. Coffee, black. Hands wrapped around the mug. Steam doing nothing for the cold inside. Waitress, old, tired. Didn't ask questions. Good. Kept replaying it. 151's laugh, Ellis's syringe, Tara's kick. You're next. Next for what? To join them? Die? Both? Looked at my hands, shaking, bruised. Not a doctor's anymore, just a hunted man's. Heard a rumble, truck pulling in, then another. Looked out. Two figures by my car, dark shapes, too far to see faces. Heart kicked up. Mike and Tara? No, couldn't be. Too fast, too soon. Stood, slow, knife in my pocket, useless comfort. Stepped outside, figures gone, car untouched. Wind off the lake bit my face, sharp, real, kept me grounded. Got back in, locked it, sat there, watching, waiting. Had to think. Cops? No proof, they'd laugh. Hospital admin, probably dead or in on it. Alone then. Drove again. Back roads now, twisting through Cleveland's outskirts, warehouses and empty lots. Noon hit, stomach growled, ignored it. Found a motel, cheap peeling paint, clerk half asleep. Paid cash, got a room, second floor, window facing the lot. Locked the door, jammed a chair under the knob, sat on the bed, knife out, eyes on the blinds. Couldn't run forever, knew that. But what else? 151's face flashed, stitched grin, wild eyes. They're us. Patients, locked up, turned predators. Ellis's voice. You're part of it now. No way. I'd die first. Heard it then. Knock, soft, deliberate. Froze, knife up, breath shallow. Another knock, louder. Keller, a voice said. Ellis, calm, close. How? Stood, crept to the window, peeked through the slats. There, Ellis, Mike, Tara by my car, staring up. Mike held a crowbar, Tara a syringe. Ellis just smiled, small, wrong. Come out, he called. Makes it easier. Backed away, heart hammering, sweat cold on my neck. Door rattled, chair held, barely. You're ours, Tara yelled, voice sharp, excited. Crowbar hit the door, wood splintered, loud. Ran. Bathroom window, only shot. Pried it open, glass cracking. Squeezed through. Dropped to the alley, landed hard. Ankle twisting. Limped, heard them break in. Footsteps pounding. Alley stretched, dark, wet, trash strewn. Kept going, knife out. Pain shooting up my leg. Hit a street, cars, people, normal life. Blended in, hobbling fast. Looked back, empty, but they were there, somewhere. Kept moving. Bus stop, crowd, got on. Didn't care where, just away. Bus rumbled, city faded, suburbs now. Sat low, knife hidden, blood on my sleeve. Passengers ignored me. Good. Got off miles out, small town, quiet, no Cleveland stink. Found a payphone, rare, working, dialed 911, voice low. St. Augustine's Psychiatric, Cleveland. Patients took over, staff's dead, they're after me. Operator paused. Sir, stay calm, where are you? Gave the town, hung up, cops a check maybe, but I wasn't waiting. Ditched the knife, evidence now, walked into the wood off the road, trees swallowing me. Night fell, cold, dark, alone. Sat against an oak, breath fogging, ankle screaming. Heard sirens, distant, heading back. Maybe they'd find 151, the basement, the truth. Maybe not. Didn't matter, I was out, alive for now. Ellis's voice lingered. You're part of it. But I wasn't. Couldn't be. Closed my eyes, exhaustion hitting. Saw 151's grin, heard his laugh. I don't want to die, I whispered. To no one. Wood stayed silent. No answer. No chase. Slept. Fitful. Dreaming of Ward C. Knowing they'd never stop looking. Woke to birds. Dawn. Weak light filtering through. Stood, limped deeper. Away from Cleveland, from them. No phone. No car. Just me, running blind. They'd come again. I felt it. But I'd fight, claw, survive. Ward C was theirs, not mine. Not yet. And that's what you see, folks. A story that will haunt you long after the screen goes black. These stories, they're not just scary, they're warnings. Things lurk out there in the shadows of Detroit, Cleveland, Tulsa, maybe even right in your own backyard. Good night, right? But hey, we're not done yet. Far from it. If you enjoyed these nightmares, hit that like button. Let me know you're still out there, hungry for more. Haven't subscribed yet? Come on, join us. We're trying to hit 1,000 subscribers, and I need you to join us. On this, hit that red button, make it official. And don't forget, hit the notification bell. Turn it on, keep the volume up. New stories are coming every day, and you don't want to miss the next time we peel back the darkness. Trust me, things are only going to get weirder. You any thoughts? Leave a comment. Which one confused you the most? I read every word, so let's talk. And if this gets your pulse racing, share it. Spread the fear to your friends.